अस्सलाम वालेकुम। आज की इस वीडियो में हम बायोलॉजी 11th चैप्टर 10 ह्यूमन रेस्पिरेटरी सिस्टम की एक्सरसाइज के शॉर्ट क्वेश्चंस के आंसर देंगे। फर्स्ट शॉर्ट क्वेश्चन इज डिफाइन रेस्पिरेटरी सरफेस एंड लिस्ट इट्स प्रॉपर्टीज। Respiratory surface means the area where actual gas exchange occurs between the environment and the blood. This gaseous exchange occurs through diffusion in humans and other vertebrates which breathe in air. Oxygen from the air diffuse into the blood and carbon dioxide diffuse from the blood to air. Properties: it is moist and permeable, it is thin, it has a blood supply, and it has structural support. Next is how nasal cavity functions in filtering the inhaled air. The nasal cavity filters inhaled air with the help of nose hair and mucus. The hair trap larger dust particles, while the sticky mucus produced by mucous membrane catches smaller impurities and microbes. This prevents foreign particles from entering deeper parts of the respiratory system. Next is trace the path of air through different parts of the respiratory system. Air enters through the nostrils into the nasal cavity, where it is filtered, warmed and moistened. It then passes through the pharynx, larynx and trachea, which divides into bronchi and smaller bronchioles, finally reaching the alveoli where gas exchange occur. Next is describe the structure and function of alveoli. Alveoli are tiny thin-walled air sacs surrounded by capillaries in the lungs. They allow oxygen to enter the blood and carbon dioxide to leave through diffusion. A fluid called surfactant keeps them from collapsing, making alveoli the main site of gas exchange. Next is what is the role of diaphragm during inhalation and exhalation. Role of diaphragm during inhalation and exhalation given below. Inhalation: during inhalation, the diaphragm contracts and moves downward, increasing the space in the chest cavity and allowing the lungs to expand so that air enters. Exhalation: during exhalation, the diaphragm relaxes and moves upward into a dome shape, reducing chest space and pushing air out of the lungs. Next is what the three ways of the transport of carbon dioxide in blood. Carbon dioxide is transported in the blood in three ways. As bicarbonate ion, about 72% of carbon dioxide is carried this way after reacting with water to form carbonic acid in red blood cells. As carboxyhemoglobin, about 20% of carbon dioxide combines with hemoglobin. As dissolved carbon dioxide in plasma, about 8% of carbon dioxide dissolves directly in blood plasma. Next is what are the advantages of having millions of alveoli rather than a pair of simple balloon-like lungs. Advantage of having millions of alveoli rather than a pair of simple balloon-like lungs are given below. Having billions of alveoli instead of simple balloon-like lungs greatly increases the surface area for gas exchange. This allows more oxygen to enter the blood and more carbon dioxide to leave at the same time, making respiration much more efficient. Next is differentiate between internal and external respiration. External respiration takes place in the lungs, where oxygen from the air in the alveoli diffuses into the blood and carbon dioxide from the blood diffuses into the alveoli to be exhaled. It helps in oxygenating the blood. On the other hand, internal respiration occurs in the blood tissues, where oxygen moves from the blood into the body cells and carbon dioxide moves from the cells into the blood. This process provides oxygen to tissues and removes carbon dioxide produced during cellular respiration. Next is differentiate between upper and lower respiratory tract. The upper respiratory tract includes the part that lie outside the chest cavity, such as the nose, nasal cavity, pharynx and larynx. Its main functions are to filter, warm and moisten the incoming air before it reaches the lungs. The lower respiratory tract lie within the chest cavity and includes the trachea, bronchi, bronchioles and lungs. Its main function is the exchange of gases, oxygen and carbon dioxide, that take place in the alveoli of the lungs. Next, differentiate between bronchi and bronchioles. Bronchi are the larger air passages that branch from the trachea into the lungs. They have cartilage plates in their walls to keep them open. Bronchi further divide into smaller branches inside the lungs. Bronchioles are the much smaller branches formed from the bronchi. They do not have cartilage in their walls and in alveolar ducts and alveoli where gas exchange take place. Next is differentiate between hemoglobin and myoglobin. Hemoglobin is a protein in red blood cells that transport oxygen from the lungs to body tissues. It is made of 4 polypeptide chains, 2 alpha and 2 beta, and has 4 heme groups, allowing it to carry 4 oxygen molecules. Myoglobin, on the other hand, is found in muscle cells and serve as an oxygen storage protein. It has only 1 polypeptide chain and 1 heme group, so it binds 1 oxygen molecule. Myoglobin has a higher oxygen affinity than hemoglobin and releases oxygen only when oxygen levels are very low in muscles. तो ये थे चैप्टर 10 ह्यूमन रेस्पिरेटरी सिस्टम 11th बायोलॉजी चैप्टर 10 ह्यूमन रेस्पिरेटरी सिस्टम की एक्सरसाइज के शॉर्ट क्वेश्चन। नेक्स्ट वीडियो में इंशाल्लाह हम चैप्टर 11 की एक्सरसाइज को सॉल्व करेंगे। तब तक के लिए अल्लाह हाफिज़।